morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. We're just so excited to be on today. I am here today with the incredible Laura, who is going to share. If you haven't seen any of our other videos, or it's the first time you're meeting us, my name is Michelle, and I am going to be a guest on her masterclass tomorrow. And I am beyond excited to have the opportunity to introduce you to somebody who's going to not only share with us what high ticket offers are, but how people out there in the world are playing in a space that I didn't even know existed until I knew it existed. And so we're going to cover what that looks like. What does it mean to finally create the wealth in your life that maybe seemed out of reach or that you didn't know how to create? And what are the steps to doing it? I'm beyond excited to just be a guest on this particular master class, and I get to come in and I get to share some of my communication fun and the things that will actually language that converts. But Carissa and Laura are going to be doing the brilliant work of laying out how to create your high ticket offers and what that even means. And today she's going to give you a little sneak peek here of what a high ticket offer is, why you might already have one in your back pocket and don't even know, and what you would do with that. So Laura, good day to you.
Good morning. It's evening nearly here, but good morning. And actually we were chatting before, weren't we, about how you can, and it's such a good example of you really need to meet your audience, your potential clients where they are, right?
Yes.
Just as you introduced me, I suddenly got a cough, a tickle in my throat. Excuse me.
I have impeccable timing. I don't know if you know this.
I'm just going to take a drink of water. You'll have to carry on talking, and I'll be giving.
Yes, of course. We were just chatting before we started about, or before we went live, about how understanding where people are coming from is a really big piece of making sure that we draw in the right people to this, because you might have something like I've been sitting on ideas, I feel like my whole life.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I know I could make a difference if I shared that idea with anyone in the world that could implement, and then making the switch to realizing I could be the one that shared the idea and implemented it. I just needed a framework for how to do that.
And you're right. And excuse me for that. I was just before we start, I was thinking, right. So the question number one that you're asking is, what is a high ticket offer? And before I started coughing up my guts, I think one of the best things you can do for your business when you're thinking about bringing in new clients is being able to sort of step back to where they are coming. I always talk about it's like if you have a shop, to get people through the door of your shop, I know we all work virtually, you really need to be thinking about how are the people going to approach that front door? Where are they? What are they thinking about? We're so obsessed, we're so obsessed with high ticket offers. We've made gazillions of them, and we've helped our clients do that as well and sell them, that we're so ingrained in us, we forget that actually people coming to the door of our shop are like, what is a high ticket? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm just trying to get more clients. I'm just trying to do more business. I've got a few ideas. I just don't know. I don't know past that. So, and you kind of come across this term of high ticket offer. It sounds good because it sounds like you're going to make more money, right? But there's so many different layers to it. So I guess the first question and the most obvious question is what is it and what does it mean? So the simplest answer to that is a low ticket is something you might be selling for I don't know, $27, $47. Maybe it's $997. Maybe it's a couple of thousand, depending on where your head is at. And that's a low ticket. So like $100 thing or maybe it's $100 for a session or a class or something like that, right? That's the kind of stuff that you do, Michelle, I know in some parts of your business. And that's considered in the world of a low ticket offer. So naturally, a high ticket offer is when you're charging more. So 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, 100,000, whatever the figure is. And that logically makes sense, right? But the challenge is not what is a high ticket offer. Once you got that, you got it, right? The challenge is how on earth do you create one? How do you create one? It's like, is there some magic thing that you do? And the second thing about them is how do you get yourself in a place where you can stand in front of the person you're going to present your offer to and present your offer at that price? How do you do that so that they're like, sure, I want to invest in that. That sounds awesome.
Yes. How do I give you my credit card?
How do I go off, run off, get my credit card, come ching, 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 ching? So that is really the bigger question when we talk about high ticket and low ticket. And we don't have time to go. I mean, we're trying to be really quick, but we seem to talk a lot about some really interesting stuff. But I wanted to just share with everybody today some of the reasons of like sort of why do high ticket and how do you get your head in that place to do high ticket, right? That's the $1 million, literally the $1 million
Yes.
question. It's actually a real $1 million question, right? And I think good question for you. I'll put it back to you, Michelle. Like, if you thought about the experience that you have, the courses that you've been to, the conferences, the books, the coaches, the investments that you've made, the time you've spent on the training that you've done, on all the things that you've done to be able to help people turn up and communicate in a way that helps them, influence other people. Would you say that was quite a lot?
That would be an understatement. We're talking almost 2 decades worth of university and degrees and courses and certifications and classes and just books and
Books.
practice, like all of it. Like,
Yeah.
yes, that's
And
quite
it
a lot.
Yeah, and the same for me, right? And it's the same for everybody watching this. If you thought about how many books, courses, trainings, hours you've spent, times away from your family, trainings you've gone, coaches you've hired, investments that you've made, years that you've spent to get you to a place where you can show up and help someone get a result really quick in a weekend. How valuable is that? Because what we forget is a bit like what we were saying at the beginning, is we forget how valuable what we've got in here is to other people, because other people don't want to spend those 20 years. They just want the result. They just want the result right now. So if you come to me and say, hey, I'm going to help you do this, I'm going to help you communicate, I'm going to help you command, I'm going to help you show up and present your offer in a way that is engaging with authority. How valuable is that? Is that like a $200 an hour thing?
Not for me.
Not really. But we come from that world, don't we? Especially
Yes.
coaching and consultants of like this thing for hours. So that's like number one, is actually the value of the result you can show up and give people. And actually, the other reason when you're you go through a process, right? You go through a process. You don't wake up one day and go, "Hey, I was doing $27 products yesterday. Today, I'm going to do a $50,000 product." You don't do that overnight, but you when you start creating these amazing high ticket offers, it really helps you to serve people so much better. And I don't know about you, Michelle, but I have had times in my business life where I'm so enthusiastic for people to get the result, but I'm trying to serve 100 people who are all lots of admin, and you're just like, and you just can't get things done. So if instead of having like 100 clients and you just had one or two paying high, imagine the experience you can give them. I love the idea of giving people experiences to get them the result, and that experience, that attention you're going to give them is like exponentially better than you can ever service at a low ticket price.
Well, and I think that's what people miss sometimes is, so we had both been in a space. I'd heard it before, but we heard it at the same time again. It was like transfer is in the transaction.
Yes.
And that one, like when it was said, I was like, yes, that's what happened with me. Is the first one was a little, I was like, oh, this is a big trend. Like in theory it was, but then I was like, wait, I've been doing this for a long time. I bought in, like, I got a degree at a university. That was a big transaction that I decided to make, but I didn't equate that because it was just a path everybody like told me I was going to be on, right? But that was a
Yeah.
big, that was a transformation. Now a lot of people think about like those steps. They think about these things now in their life and because they're more conscious maybe of the money they're investing. They can actually do something a little more.
Yeah.
And then I thought about like how many times recently we've made the choice to be in a room, to be in a space, to choose something very specifically to the goal I have, the outcome I wanted,
Yeah.
and how much quicker I could then achieve it because I was like, I made the choice. I was like, you know what? I put my money into this and I want something out of this. So not only am I holding them to that, like, hey, this is what you're going to deliver. I found what I wanted faster. I
Yeah.
found what I needed faster because I was all in.
Yeah.
I was attention. I was like, yes, let's go. Give it to me. And so it meant that I did things faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I think that's the idea here is it's yes, it's a process. No, it's not overnight, but it's fast. Like once you say yes and you start doing the
Yeah.
things, it starts happening. Like it's exponential how fast it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's overnight until it is.
Yeah.
Because then other people will be like, wait a second, it seems like this just happened or this. And I was like, yeah, but I've been doing the work in my head, in my day-to-day life, in my decision making for a while now. It's just what you see on the outside, right? Like that maybe has shifted. What I say I do for work maybe has shifted, but I've been doing this all along. I've been doing this work and like getting there. And so it's not overnight, but it can be incredibly fast.
Yeah.
And way faster than if I keep trying to figure it out on my own.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I've spent years trying to figure things out on my own. And actually, it's if you could rewind your life, right, you'd be like, right, at that point, just invest in the high ticket coach that's going to do that for you in a weekend. But
or in the person who's going to fix the thing for you, or in the, like, I don't try to, like, beyond like tightening a bolt, I don't do my own plumbing, right? Like, I don't want to learn that skill set. Just because I could does not mean I want to, or that I should spend my time there. Like, and that is somebody's passion and they are great at that. And I'm more than happy to do that. So just because I can or could figure it out doesn't mean I have to anymore. And I think that has been so much freedom that I don't actually have to do it on my own. There are people that I can partner with, work with, hire to just get me there faster.
Yeah. And actually, one of the things, having been around high ticket offers for a long time, I realize more and more and more and more, the more people I work with, that that power of the transformation, the transaction, and especially when you buy yourself, when you invest in high tickets, that's almost, I mean, obviously you're going to help get results. You've got a system, and like you say, the people who've been doing it for so long can give you that really fast, and it just changes your belief system, doesn't it? Because you're like, oh, I thought that was going to take me 6 months, and they're like, no, we'll just get it done and we'll just do it today, kind of thing.
Yeah. Would you like it to be done today?
You want it done?
Yes.
Should we get it done by the end of the day? You know, because they've got the system to be able to do that. But also that transformation thing in the transaction is so powerful for people that it's like all that headspace, all that baggage, whatever you've kind of stored up. Once you make that decision, it's like, boof, right, let's go. And you don't have the same thing if you're selling a $97 thing or $100 hour of coaching, or a 10,000 week long program, or you have to go in and watch these 2,000 videos. We'll check in every 6 months and then you're going to get the result. You don't have that. And
I don't have that time anymore. I don't want to spend time anymore.
I've actually gone into products which I won't name, and I've been into them. I've invested a lot of money into them, and I've got in there, and I'm just like, I'm just not going to do that. Like I know instantly now, I'm just not going to do. I just want my money back, so I'm just not going to do that. Just don't have the time. So that is really once you design these high ticket offers, and once you understand the power of them for you, for your clients, for your business, and you design them in a way that is how we're going to go through in the masterclass, which will simplify the way you do this. That's the power. The power is in getting the result in the transaction and that kind of investment into it, and having the confidence to really be able to have conviction in what you're selling because you know the value of it. So it's a process. You always say that to me. It's a process, but it's like we can compress time, speed it up, and go a lot faster by being part of the masterclass or hanging out and being in the right room.
Yes, and I think for everybody like watching this and thinking about like, is this for me? I think it's that time compression is the biggest deal. Like, yes, here's the answer is yes, it's for you. The results have been proven.
Yeah.
People are doing this because of this process, because of this formula, because of this step by step. People are out there doing this and they're making this kind of money, and it's incredible. It is possible. It is real. And then I think on top of that, it's the time compression. Like, why want to spend another 6 months wondering how it can work for you, if it can work for you, instead of just, yes, it's going to work for me. I'm going to, like, somebody else is doing it, I'm going to do it. And you jump in and you take that idea that like it can, like, if you can do it, if I can do it, like somebody else can do it too, which is where our belief comes from, right? We know because we've done it and we've made that shift, and you came out of corporate. I feel like you came from corporate over, and I came from like a school system over. You have to like give away your time basically to everybody that ever comes through, and that's not true either.
Yeah.
And we both have a heart to serve people, and there's a way to do everything. And so I think like what's going to be incredible is that in your masterclass, you actually cover all of that. You cover the process, you cover how people go from literally where they are right now, wherever that is in their journey, to where they're able to come out selling high ticket offers, and then everything in between, and how all of life and your goals and your dreams and all of that fits in there. And I think that's the beauty of what you get to teach everybody.
Yeah. And sometimes someone once said to me that sometimes what you're missing is awareness. Right?
Yes.
You're just missing, you just don't know what you don't know. And when you get it, it's not complicated. It's about being aware of what the kind of those kind of massive leaps are for, going, oh, right, I didn't realize you could do it like this. I didn't realize people perceive this as more valuable. And I think that if you're brand new to all of this, or even if you've been kicking around it for a bit, the masterclass is there to help sort of shift that awareness and get you into taking action. So we'll see you there tomorrow at whatever time it is in your time zone. I'm not going to reel them off, but I know it's different for different people.
But we will post the link so you can
post the link.
Figure it out for your time zone. No matter where you are in the world, this is for you.
The page definitely has different time zones on it. It's just I just need to make sure I turn up in my time zone at the right time. But yeah, the link will have it on there. The page has the West Coast, East Coast, London time zones. And yeah, just make sure you're free, and we'll see you there.